Again, I don't read prompter when I do my teasers. Half the time, I just think of stuff and say it.
Off the dome.
And crazy enough, as I was talking, I said, Acho, you sound ridiculous. Then as I was talking, I was like, wait a second. Russell Wilson's Hall of Fame career, quite literally, could hinge on the preseason game. Because if he plays bad and gets benched and does not start in Pittsburgh, we will no longer think of Russell Wilson as a Hall of Fame lock we used to think of him as. America, the game that will occur between the Steelers and I believe it is the Detroit Lions in the preseason literally has major implications for a Hall of Fame career. That is not hyperbole. Let me talk to you, James Jones, as we get this thing going, because Justin Fields, who is competing with Russell Wilson for the starting job, he said, look, I think I've done enough to start. My question is this. Can Mike Tomlin afford to start Justin Fields this season?
Before I give my take, really quick, you said 15 snaps. Is that what he's going to play, or we don't know?
We don't know, but last game, I think he played roughly 20 snaps, and I think 15. Fields played a little bit.
Because I was just thinking, if it's around 15 snaps, that's letting me know that they probably want to get Justin Fields in there with the starters, too, to kind of see what both of them look like with the starters. Coach Tomlin can afford to do anything and everything he wants.
Whoa.
I never lost, and I had a losing season, and I've had a bunch of bad quarterback play, and I still find a way to get it done. So if it's anybody that you should trust or believe in to win some games, it might not mean playoff wins, it might not mean get to the Super Bowl, but get you to the dance and have a winning season and be playing some meaningful games, it's Mike Tomlin. I truly believe, Acho, that this is the best quarterback room, and that it's going to sound crazy. This is the best quarterback room that Mike Tomlin has had in a very long time with what he has won games with. The Pittsburgh Steelers fans, Mike Tomlin should be excited. You have two dudes that can win you a football game and possibly can win you a football game if the defense don't play well. You showed the list of all the quarterbacks they had. These two you would put at the top of that list. Would I be lying? Good or bad, you would put at the top of that list. So they should be encouraged about this. But Mike Tomlin, as a head coach, can afford to put anybody he wants to put out there on the football field. T.J. Houshmandzadeh, James Jones, Justin Fields, Russell Wilson, because he has earned that. How well are these dudes going to play? We don't know. But he's earned the right with what he has done as a head coach to trot out anybody and everybody he wants to put out there.
TJ, here is why I vehemently disagree. I don't know about y'all. I don't know about you. But we all knew that individual, at least I did, who all she had going for her was her looks. And then she lost her looks. Hey. And she ain't have nothing going.
How'd she do that?
We all know the dude, and all he had going for him was the bread. But then he filed for bankruptcy. And he ain't have nothing going for him. Terrible person he was. Terrible person she was. When they lost the one thing they had going for him, they had nothing left going for him. What Mike Tomlin has going for him right now is never having a losing record. He ain't won a Super Bowl in 16 years. He hasn't won a playoff game since 2016. 23 NFL teams have won playoff games since Mike Tomlin last won a playoff game. Every team in his division has won a playoff game since he last won a playoff game, including the Cleveland Browns, beating them in the playoffs. Here's what I suggest, James Jones. If you start Justin Fields, he's 10-28 as a starter. Unstoppable force, Mike Tomlin, not being able to have a losing season. Immovable object, Justin Fields, not being able to have a winning season. I don't know if you can afford to start Justin Fields, TJ, because the one thing that Mike Tomlin truly has going for him is he's never had a losing season. Now, what in the world if you start Justin Fields and you do? I think that's too big a risk to take. I think it's too big a burden to carry. I don't think he can afford to start a quarterback who we all know has struggled to win.
Before TJ goes, though, where does it put him if he wins?
Where he is right now.
Oh, he don't get no more kudos?
No, because with Kenny Pickett, he went 10-7.
But I'm just saying, like, the way people kill Justin Fields and how bad of a quarterback Justin Fields is, and Mike Tomlin goes out here and wins 10 games, 11 games with him and
loses in the playoffs again? He is. Mike Tomlin, I can't elevate. He can't elevate in our minds. He's already Hall of Fame first ballot. And I don't know if y'all saw today. I'm sure you saw the breaking news.
Yeah,
like, coaches now can go into the Hall of Fame after 1 year. So Mike Tomlin can retire today.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's no longer a 5-year waiting period for coaches. Mike Tomlin can retire today, and he will go into the Hall of Fame in 2026. So he's already first ballot. I don't think he can elevate in our minds. But, TJ, I don't think he can afford to start Fields.
Mike Tomlin has one other thing, equity. That's what he's built up with the Pittsburgh Steelers. since Big Ben, this is their best quarterback room, but that isn't saying a lot.
It ain't.
Like, this is their best quarterback room in years, and that isn't saying a lot. And so the fact that we're asking, can he afford to start him? That's not a good thing for Mike Tomlin. Because when they brought Russell Wilson in, Mike Tomlin for sure thought, the way that I approach the game, I'm going to help him. And they don't have a quarterback because Russell Wilson has shown them, this is it. It's over. Mm-hmm. He's not going to the Hall of Fame. It's over. He's not going to the Hall of Fame.
I think I agree with TJ. Like,
no.
I mean, at the very least, it's not a slam dunk.
No. And it kind of is what it is because he had the perfect situation in Seattle. Great defense. Mm-hmm. Really good receivers once DK really started playing. Before that, with Doug Ball wouldn't be able to get open and press coverage and create separation like that. You had a great run game in Marshawn Lynch. Hall of Famer upon Hall of Famer on that defense. And what happens is we as players, we start to think, rightfully so, it's me. It's me. And he wanted more control. That's when that let Russ cook started to come out. Mm-hmm. He put that out there. He wasn't able to, and Pete Carroll said, I got to reel you in. You're going to mess up my reputation. Mm-hmm. The Russell Wilson that was taking Seattle to the Super Bowl, you got to give Pete Carroll credit for that, not Russell Wilson. Mm-hmm. Pete Carroll gets the credit for that because when he went to Denver, we didn't see any of it. You're not bringing it. His confidence and the way that it's no longer there. Mike Tomlin is undecided because he probably wants to start Justin Fields. But he wants to go with the guy that he saw do well a decade ago. That guy is no longer there.
I'm glad TJ laid the groundwork for that because talking Steelers with you makes me feel like I'm time traveling, honestly. Because, like, the Russell Wilson that is a slam dunk to be the better starter is back in 2020, man. Like, even his last year in Seattle was good, but not up to the standard that he had set before that. And we know what's happened in Denver. How can you say, can he afford to start Justin Fields when Russell Wilson's 2 years in Denver, we know he went 4-11 with Nathaniel Hackett.
That wasn't good.
TJ just threw up the graphic. When Sean Payton was there, the quarterback whisperer who's going to get the most out of his quarterback, he was 7-8 as a starter. They started 1-5 last year. I mean, they did pick things up and get on track, but they started 1-5. That's as poorly as you can start a season. We've seen that with Russell Wilson. So I do think at this juncture, Russell Wilson is a better pure quarterback than Justin Fields, but I think it's close, which is an indictment on how far Russell Wilson has come in the last 4 years. And it also offers an intriguing thought about Justin Fields' upside. He's not as good of a quarterback, but he's capable of running for 1,100 yards. We've seen him do that.
But what has that amounted to? That's my fears. Like, what's that?
More first downs, more possessions, more snaps on offense, and not just relying on my defense every game to win. Because you're playing in the toughest division in football. Mm-hmm. You're going to have to score points. There's just going to be certain games that T.J. Watt can't take over. Yeah. You have to score points.
So really quick, you two. So y'all basically saying that.
I thought you were with me on this, James. I thought you wanted to see
when he said YouTube, that let us know right there. YouTube. Let us know.
I do want to see Fields. I feel like they're more explosive with Fields out there. You know what I'm saying? I do feel that way. But you guys, basically listening to you guys are basically saying no matter what Russ does in this preseason game, it's over.
No.
That sounds like what y'all saying. Like Fields should be the starter.
I believe Russell Wilson is going to start. He's going to start. He won't finish. He won't even make it through, I believe, 4 games as a starter. They're probably going to lose to the Falcons. The Falcons are much improved week 1. You know they want to see him start against Denver. You have so much that you want to prove. After that, I mean, you think they're going to beat the Chargers? The Colts? Lose to the Colts? Lose to the Cowboys? Well, the Cowboys, you never know. The schedule is not hard out the gate, but he's going to...
Them first 3 4.
They're winnable.
He's starting the first 2 games. After that, you just don't know. Dude, Russell Wilson is a proven vet, and we're counting on the last preseason game to determine that?
That's the crazy thing. Like, I don't think y'all at home realize just how asinine it is that Russell Wilson is playing in the last preseason game to prove himself as the starter. But let me invert it, James, for you. Really, I got to ask TJ, because TJ, you're the one saying this. Has Justin Fields shown enough? Has he shown enough to be the starter?
No, he hasn't shown enough to be the starter week 1. Because had he, Mike Tomlin would have named him the starter. I believe in Mike Tomlin, hearts of hearts, he probably feels he can do more with Justin Fields. But he's uncertain, and he's holding on to the 2018 Russell Wilson. That's what he's holding on to.
And the ball security that comes with a vet who's proven he can do it, stuff like that, yeah.
I mean, he didn't turn the ball over much last year against Denver, but I need you, if you're Russell Wilson, if you're a Hall of Famer, if you're one of the better quarterbacks of this generation, I need you to be able to win the game. I need you to be able to, the last 2 minutes of the game, we're down by 5, you drive us down the field and get us a touchdown. I don't know if he can do that any longer because he hasn't shown us he can do it. He hasn't shown us.
I got a question for y'all. How old's your oldest?
Ooh, I'm old, 24.
Oldest 24?
12.
Let me go to you, James. There comes a point, I'm sure, because this was me when I was a kid, and your parents was like, hey, we got to go from Dallas to Austin. We'll be back by the end of the day. Here are the keys to the house. Here's this. Here's the keys to the gate. Can you open the back gate, et cetera. Eventually, my parents realized if we are going to entrust you with our home, the most valuable, tangible possession that we own, I have to make sure that you're not going to squander it.
Yeah.
12-year-old Acho, 15-year-old Acho, 16-year-old Acho, 24-year, whatever the case may be. If you're Mike Tomlin, if I'm going to entrust you with my most valuable possession, my Hall of Fame career, my Hall of Fame resume, can you entrust 10 and 28 Justin Fields? Because, again, we're talking about this flippantly. Mike Tomlin has to turn over his job to Justin Fields. Can you trust Justin Fields with your job?
Can I trust Justin Fields with my job?
Because that's what you're saying.
The answer is no, if I'm just trusting Justin Fields. But if I can trust Justin Fields in my defense and George Pickens in this running game, yes. Over Russell Wilson. And the main reason why I say that is because right now at this point in Russell Wilson's career, we know what we're going to get. We're getting a guy that doesn't take any chances. We're getting a guy that's less mobile than he was, right? That's why we see him taking a lot of sacks. We know the offensive line is not going to be that good for the Pittsburgh Steelers. We really know what Russell Wilson is going to give you. Can he give you a wild play every now and then and a wild throw? Sure, every quarterback can. But on a consistent level, lightning in a bottle is Justin Fields. I want that to where I go out there and the offensive coordinator calls a play, and yes, it may be a mistake, but yes, it may be something else. And if it is something else, with the way we play defense and the weapons that we have around him, I want Justin Fields out there, and I can trust him with my job with what he has around him.
TJ, as you think on this, Dave, chime in.
Don't you think Mike Tomlin has faith that his style is pretty quarterback-proof between winning games with Kenny Pickett, Mason Rudolph? He had a stretch with Duck Hodges. His quarterback was named Duck, and they had a winning record. Like, that's what the Steelers do. And I'm not trying to sell anybody that Justin Fields is a great quarterback. I've never tried to do that the whole time we've talked about this. But to James's point, you add his running ability, his ability to create explosive plays to an offense that's got a little in the way of skill talent, at least particularly in the running game, which is what Fields does well. And, yeah, flip over to the other side of that. You only got to do enough to make life easier on T.J. Watt, Minkah Fitzpatrick, Patrick Queen's there now. See what Joey Porter can do in year 2. Alex Highsmith's on the other side of that line.
Cam Hayward. They got a defense now.
Forgot Cam. I mean, we're not asking for much. That was the crazy thing last year. Is like, if you can get us to 23 points a game, we're going to win a lot of games.
I didn't understand, TJ, I didn't understand the gravity of this conversation until my junior year at Texas. Will Muschamp, current defensive coordinator at Georgia, back-to-back national championship winners prior to last season. He looked at me during training camp, TJ, true story, and he said, here's the thing, Acho, about the players I'm putting on this field. I have to be able to trust my kid's education with you.
Yeah.
I got to be able to trust my wife's vacation with you.
Yeah.
I got to be able to trust my mortgage with you. Because if you don't run bench-based chop palms properly and Oklahoma gashes us, I get fired.
That's it.
And if I get fired, my kids got to leave their school. And if I get fired, my wife can't go on that vacation that she wants to. And if I get fired, we got to sell our house. So I'm putting my job in your hands. That's when the weight of all the cursing and the weight of all the yelling and the weight of all the, Acho, get in the A-gap. That's when it hit me. Oh, you not yelling because you yelling. You yelling because your kid got to graduate.
And
can Tomlin afford, knowing everything I just said, and knowing that Justin Fields is 10-28 as a starter, TJ, can Tomlin afford to put all of that in the hands of Justin Fields?
Mike Tomlin can, because you fire him and his wife still gonna be on vacation.
I don't think
Mike Tomlin can afford it. Yes,
Yeah.
but I'm thinking about something. That offensive coordinator is new, Arthur Smith. He took Ryan Tannehill from the Miami Dolphins and turned him into a pretty good quarterback with the Tennessee Titans.
Right.
That's what he did. And mentally, if Justin Fields can adapt to that coaching style, we would all say that Justin Fields is more talented than Ryan Tannehill. Throwing the ball, running the ball, I don't know what's up here, but he's more talented. And Arthur Smith is not getting enough credit for what he did with Ryan Tannehill. I believe if he was to entrust Justin Fields with all of that, he'd be fine. With that being said, I truly believe they're starting Russell Wilson. And Mike Tomlin just wants Russell Wilson to play well enough so the fan base is saying, yeah, Russ played good this last preseason game. Like, this is the preseason when a guy like Russell Wilson should never be playing and normally would not be playing in. And it's, if he plays well in a preseason game, he's our starter.
And it's crazy because Acho brings up a really good point because a lot of coaches do say that. And I'll never forget, because this is the situation I think Tomlin's in, right? You got a super talented dude over there. You got a veteran dude over here that's pretty consistent, right? We know what we're going to get from him, but it's all this talent over here. What if, right? When I first got to San Jose State, I was the, ooh, what if? And we had some consistent dudes over here that if they supposed to be running a curl, they're going to be running a curl. If a curl is called, I'm running a comeback and an out. No, JJ, that ain't the play. But if it's thrown to me, oh. But my coach came up to me and he said, bruh, you got all the talent in the world, bruh. Like, you should be, when they say regular, you should be running out here, just you. We don't even need another one. He said, but I can't trust that you know what you're doing. And if I can't trust that you know what you're doing, you know who get fired? Me. And I think that's the situation Tomlin's in. All this talent over here, he should be starting. He makes us more explosive. But what if he play like this? Consistent, play some solid defense, we'll just go with the veterans.
What's consistent with that, though? That over there hasn't been consistent.
You're gonna have to blow up,
but you're going to have less turnovers. You're not going to take a lot of chances. It's going to be Pittsburgh Steelers football. Let's play some defense. Over here, take a lot of chances, may fumble, may throw some picks, but the good parts of it.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.